Scary story time. I sat in that spacious apartment in front of this handsome man looking dignified and self-confident. He and his wife looked tired as if they had not slept for days, and yet I appeared. Their eyes are confidence and challenge. I am Officer Adele from the Criminal Investigation Department, and this man is accused of killing a young man in 21 years old. An accusation without evidence at all. So what is the evidence? Only an old lady from one of the neighbors saw a somewhat strange scene. She saw the man talking to the boy hysterically and pointing to his apartment. Then the boy ran to the man's apartment with the man behind him, and no one ever left the apartment after that. The man did not come out, nor the young man. One day later, the young man's family reported his disappearance, accusing the man of harming or hiding him, and maybe kill him. But does the disappearance of the young man mean that he was killed? In the case of this man specifically, yes, because the young man killed the respectable man's daughter 2 years ago and was never punished. Somehow official papers appeared proving that he had a mental disability, but he did not. The young man was not punished and then escaped criminal punishment. Therefore, the premise was strong and the idea of revenge remained prevalent. But how? Where is the body? If he did not die, where is he now? No one has left the apartment since yesterday. The young man's family is certain that he is not alive, and their collapse is evidence of this, but... well, we turned the apartment around searching. Nothing is clear. There is no body here. No blood. No belongings. Nothing at all. After completing the inspection, I sat with the couple in the reception room to finish routine procedures, and I looked at the apartment. A luxurious apartment, dotted with bronze statues of various shapes and sizes. Heavyweight and expensive. There are many murals on the wall. What is striking is that they are very large. Some of them almost devour an entire wall. Although the family has been in this apartment for a long time, everything in it makes you believe that it is new, shiny, and just purchased. I can even almost smell the smell of fresh paint in the air. And all the time there is a distinct aromatic smell in the air as a result of that electronic freshener hanging on the wall. What is also striking is the exaggerated cleanliness of the entire apartment, before it was searched, of course. The general atmosphere suggests good taste and extreme wealth. Even the bathroom of the apartment is dazzling. Amazingly spacious, clean, shiny, and evokes within you a sense of completion. It was just installed, even if the aromatic smells in it were distinct from the rest of the apartment. I looked at the couple's faces a little. The wife seemed very satisfied. The smile did not leave her lips throughout the search. A wife with a sweeping personality, a great beauty that has not been hidden by time. As for the husband, he was very calm. He followed everything with his eyes, and I never saw him move. It's as if he feels so relaxed that he can move. I don't know why I have a strong feeling that the young man's body is here somewhere. I suddenly remembered that we were not searching the house as garbage. I asked quietly to one of the soldiers to search in the garbage. It was actually a desperate move, and I only did it as a last line of defense. And, with everything that was happening, something appeared on the horizon, perhaps a clue. Maybe. He pointed at the soldier from afar so I could see what he got. Did I notice a twitch of tension on a man's face? I got up and went to him to see what he found in the trash. A small notebook with the name of the company this man works for printed on it. He was a human doctor, and his wife was like him, and they worked together in a pharmaceutical company. I don't know what work the doctor does in the pharmaceutical company. When I asked him previously about that, he said, drug trials, notes on experiments, notes on new drugs, you know these things. His answer did not convince me at the time. I decided to investigate the validity of that matter later. And if there was no reason to lie about his work, The important thing is that when he pointed to the soldier with the small notebook, I preferred to read it alone, hoping that I would find something in it that would help me reach what happened. For some reason, I did not like to read it in front of the man. I excused myself and stood up on the wide balcony and started looking at the notebook. As I read, my heart began to tremble and my eyes widened. Everything is written in that notebook, everything. Before he did it, a little while ago I thought that there was no complete crime, but it was all of this. Genius fell through an unbelievable loophole like this. It is clear that he has been planning this for some time, and this blog was merely an arrangement of his thoughts. I knew that he had been receiving psychological treatment for some time, and part of the treatment required him to write down his thoughts and feelings, but I could not know anything of what his psychiatrist told him. According to the law, I was not entitled to see what he had previously written, nor even to discuss it with the psychiatrist in an official capacity. I looked at the notebook. It was small with only a few words on each page, but it put things into perspective. How do I describe what's in it? There are no words to describe this madness, this genius, the intense pain that made him do what he did. I completely disconnected from my surroundings and started reading. The man says in his notebook, "Now I found the way. Now I know what I will do. My dear wife agrees with everything. This little bastard. He killed my only daughter. He killed her mercilessly. I feel hopeless and frustrated. Get him out of prison. He escaped punishment. My little girl died in vain. This bastard. He assaulted her when she was 9 years old until she died in his hands. And he enjoys his life. He eats, drinks, breathes, and laughs. He enjoys his time. I swore to kill him. I will kill him in the most horrific ways possible. I will torture him with legendary torture. He won't be able to escape. He won't even be able to scream. It will hurt in front of me. His eyes scream. His eyes only. He just has to enter my apartment. But how? How will I convince him to come into my apartment? He himself was surprised by my silence, my calm, but he fears me like hell. He runs away from me every time he sees me. His eyes escape from my face. It does not stand in the way I walk. How will I lure him? I have one way. I will tell him that his father is in my apartment and he wants him urgently. He lives in front of me. At that time, his father must not be at home. I have to let him enter me quickly and without thinking. He must be worried about his father. I must not allow him to communicate or think. I know that he loves his father very much, and it is his greatest weakness. Therefore, I must take advantage of his fear for his father from me. Once he sets foot inside my apartment, it's over. My wife stabs him with an injection and it's over. Or it starts. Well, I have prepared everything. I do not know why I am writing this memoir of mine, but I feel really comfortable writing it. What will I do? I'll arrange my thoughts here. I will wait for his father to leave and the boy will be out after him. This requires supervision. Always, all the time, so I installed this tiny camera on the door of the house. The Bluetooth camera is poor, but it is sufficient for the purpose. My wife and I will take turns monitoring the door on our mobile phones. The boy would come out, so I would open my door and shout that his father was with me and that he seemed to be having a crisis. Heart attack or something. As soon as he entered, my wife attacked him with a syringe containing a powerful, fast-acting hypnotic while I was behind him closing the door. I will make him lie on my long table in the large bathroom, and I will wait for him to wake up, and then I tie all his joints with strong compression bands. Then you cut off parts of his body in front of him. We will of course muzzle him so that he cannot screaming. I will take a razor blade and draw the face of my beloved daughter on his back, then force him to lie on the salt. I will have my wife draw on his chest and stomach with a razor while I cut off his fingers and toes one by one with large pliers and throw them in a formalin vase. I will pour luxury cologne on him. He deserves. In the end, I will pierce one of his eyes with a long needle, and perhaps I will pierce an ear as well. Nay, I will sew up his dirty lying mouth so that he will never open it. Then if he remains alive, I will quietly cut open his stomach and chest and extract his heart. Yes, he must have seen him with his only eye trembling in front of him with his last heartbeat, and perhaps I had slaughtered him in the process. What will I do with all these pieces of his? I'll put it in formalin to harden it then. For months I had been stealing acids from the lab and buying acids from various places. If I had bought a large quantity, they might have doubted me. I was pouring all the acids in the giant aquarium. I also placed it in the bathroom next to the bathtub as if it were a decoration, and I made a tight glass cover for it. I will leave it for a full hour while my wife and I clean up the traces of his dirty blood. I will put him and all his belongings in a vase of acid, so let him take him to hell. Once it is completely melted, I will pour it in little by little. I will put in a large glass tube. The inside of the bathtub is directly connected to the water, and I will open a special corner for the acid to precipitate from it and mix with the abundant water and fall into the drain irreversibly to mix with the filth that is purer than it, to swim among the impurities, to end up despicable. In the most despicable place. I will pour water abundantly into the container of the acid so that its effect is reduced, and I will pour the water with all force on the precipitation that I am doing until its effect is lost. If there are any bones left of it, I will crush them, mash them, and crumble them into pieces. I will make a powder out of them. Then throw him in the bathroom. The bastard killed my daughter. Despicable. I will take revenge on him. The plan was implemented as it was. Now my wife is spraying the apartment with perfume. We cleaned everything. I heard them calling the police, screaming. Now I will throw away these notes, as I no longer need them. I have completed my revenge on this dog. He claimed that he was insane in order to escape punishment. A moron in the College of Engineering? I cut him off. My heart has been relieved. I think I don't need to write again. You are cured. Goodbye, my diary. I finished reading the notes. Oh my God. This is a man who has been tormented for a long time, and his torment has turned into absolute madness. In one way or another, I understand his position. If someone had touched my daughter, I might have done more than he did. He's a genius man. Whoever hides the body from existence in this way is a genius man. I feel a strange feeling of sympathy for him. Despite his cruelty, he took revenge on him. I raised my head from the notebook, looking at the street full of life, and began to think. I do not know whether this evidence will be valid before the prosecution or not. After all, he is just a psychopath who misses his daughter. I went out from the balcony to find all eyes on me, and I saw a look of panic on his face, the man and his wife, while the father of the murdered boy walked in with a look of tension on his face. I asked him simply, "Was your son in engineering college?" He nodded his head in response, then asked me eagerly, "Did you find it?" I shook my head, then said, "No. But I received news that there was a girl who had eloped with a boy who matched the description. Your son." I accompanied his words by putting the note in my pocket and looked at the man with a meaningful look. In silence, tears streamed down his face. I walked towards the apartment door, thinking, should I submit the memorandum to the justice that triumphed over injustice? I don't know. I don't think so. I believe that justice has been achieved, and let us see what the days will yield. In the darkness of my bedroom, I lie staring at the phone, holding my little girl. For some time now, I have been hearing screaming before I go to sleep and having horrible nightmares in this room exactly, but I know they are just sick fantasies. My child was silent, following with me what I saw on the phone screen. Then suddenly she asked me, "Father, did you hear screaming when you were young?" My eyes widened in fear and my heart beat violently. What is this scary question? I looked at her slowly to find her cunning eyes shining in the darkness next to me and whispering, "They scream all the time."